Hi, hello. Here I am, guys. Episodes 13, 14, and 15 of Love Next Door. I did not talk about this show last week, so that's why I'm talking about it this week. And I also wrote down a bunch of notes so I could remember what significant things happened in all three episodes, because there's kind of a lot of stuff. So, we'll start with episode 13, like what happens in episode 13. So, episode 13, we finally find out why the second male lead, why he didn't want to date the second female lead, because she tells him, and I think it's episode 12, I think, that she's like, oh, I like you, I want to be with you, like, I want to be together, and I want to be your daughter's mom, like, I want to, whatever, like, I want to be your family, basically, right? And he's like, no, we can't, and you're kind of like, wait, what? Then you find out. Now, okay, this is the thing that I have mixed emotions about, because I don't like that the show did this, because I think it's stupid. Basically you find out that the reason he was hesitating about, he didn't want to start a relationship, was because like 3 years ago, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I am ill, so, oh my gosh, like 3 years ago, his sister, his brother-in-law, and his parents all died in an accident. It was a vacation, like family trip he was supposed to go on, but last minute got, like he was working, so he didn't go on it. So he's the only survivor. And then his niece, who is the little girl, who it's not his daughter, it's his niece, which that theory had been thrown around within like the first episode. People were like, oh, I wonder if it's not actually his kid, because she did call him dad, but everyone's theory was like that it was the niece. I personally would have been fine if it had been the daughter. I don't know what the problem would have been with a widowed man, like a widowed father. I don't know why it had to be his sister. I will say that plot, when they reveal what happened to his family, was so sad. It made me cry. It was so like emotional, and his acting was so good in the scene when you get the flashback. And so that's why he was hesitating, because of that. I personally don't think it would have been a problem if it had been his daughter, not his niece, because I saw a comment somewhere where someone said something about it and they were like, oh, it's his niece, that's great, or they made it sound weird, and I was like, what, do you have a problem with widowed parents? Like, it's stupid, whatever. K-dramas are allergic to having widowed people. They like to just always make the kid that's in the person's life the niece or the nephew. It's like, girl, seriously, whatever, who cares, doesn't matter. That was why they were hesitating to be together, or why he was hesitating, like why he didn't want to like pursue a relationship. And then eventually, obviously, he does end up confessing his feelings. But then, because the show's stupid, they decide, hey, let's make the female lead's mom, who's been perfectly fine this entire show, to suddenly hate this relationship. So at first she's like, no, you guys can't be together, but that doesn't last very long, and then they work it out and they're fine. It's very stupid that they even put that in the show, because the mom was also a widow, so one would think that she would think it's amazing that he's raising his niece after this huge tragedy. But I think the show's reasoning was stupid, like, oh, we don't want, like, I had such a hard life growing up, I don't want my daughter to have a hard life. It was so stupid. I was like, okay, tell me you don't understand the mom's character, because that wasn't her the whole show at all. It was like one episode where she's like suddenly against this, and then she was like chill the whole time, whatever. I'm so sick of 180 character change in one episode, and then they go back to be normal. It's my biggest pet peeve. I don't know why they do that in K-dramas. I'm like, stop making up issues. Doesn't make sense. Whatever, they're together now, it's fine. That all worked out. Okay, so for our main couple, I got the timeline of what happened a little bit confused, but then I finally figured it out. It was very confusing for some reason. Basically, they were together, they were hiding their relationship, and then they went through this like weird period where she was like, she like, because she like finished her like cooking certificate thing that she was going for, this like school that she was like at school for, a cooking school. Excuse me. She got her certificate, and then she wasn't getting hired anywhere, so she's feeling just like insecure or whatever, and she felt like inferior. Well, not even inferior, but she just kind of felt like bad. Like, she's like, I don't know. She was just having a whole crisis, whatever. And so then she was kind of like, they weren't like in a fight, like not actually, but it was just like, she's just like, I need time apart, I need to like think or whatever. Spends that time apart and is like, okay, I need my boyfriend back. Like, I want to be with him again. Like, and he had been like so respectful. He was like, I'll stay back. I won't, I'll give you time to think and like work through your issues or whatever. And then it was fine. And then with the thing that like kind of brought them like like back together, like where she was like stopping, what am I saying? She stopped being so like weird about her whole like inferiority complex. I don't know, whatever. And he had gotten hurt at a job site, like not drastically hurt. He just hurt his arm, but she didn't know what happened. So she freaked out, and then she found out that he was okay. And then she finally said, I love you for the first time, which was really cute. Her little I love you confession was very sweet. So then that was kind of the end of episode 13. Let's see. Episode 14. I just said that the second leads are like got together despite the opposition, which again, we already kind of covered that in episode 13. It was so stupid. Made no sense. Whatever. They're together now. The show, there's no more issues for them. Going into 15 there. Actually, that's not true. There is a plot, whatever. I won't talk about that yet. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. And then let's see. I wrote down, I got marker on my desk. Oopsies. Okay. So then episode 14 for the main lead. So he decided to propose, which the main couple. He decided to propose, which I don't know why. It was too soon. It didn't make sense. It was one of those things where it's like everything that he tried to do, like it just kept going wrong. Finally, like after so many things went wrong in the day, he finally like asks her, right? And she says no. She says no, right? So then the rest of the episode is him being like, oh my gosh, what happened? Why'd she reject me? Blah, blah, blah. And then after, finally into like the last couple minutes of the episode, what ends up happening is she's basically kind of like, because she was sick before, she just is like afraid to commit. I think that was basically what it was. And he had this whole really cute speech where he was literally like, if it's 10 years, if it's 5 years, if it's one day, like, I just want to be with you basically. And like, I don't care. Very cute. They hug and they're whatever. And they kind of, I'm trying to remember. I think she hadn't said yes at the proposal at that point. They're still whatever. So there's this whole thing where he got her a bracelet instead of a ring when he proposed, but that was like a callback to something that happened when they were little. I think it was some comment that someone made or something. I don't know. People were talking about this, words. People were talking about the significance because they were like, why did he get her a bracelet and not a ring? And apparently it's a callback to an earlier part. I don't care. Does not matter to me. But anyways, they're like hugging because they're like reconciled or whatever, and they're like being all cute and stuff. And both of their parents, all four of the parents, the mom and dad of both, see them. And so now they know the secret's out. Now, because the show is stupid, that became a huge thing. Like, him being all... Who's him? What am I saying? Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. That became a drama and was the kind of center point about episode 15. The moms of both the female lead and the male lead basically had a whole falling out in episode 14 because of past issues that they never worked through, and it was a whole thing. I skipped through most of the scenes in episode 14 of them because I did not care. It was a struggle to get through 14, and in fact, I almost gave up on the show on episode 14 because I was so done with it. But I soldiered through, and I skipped the scenes that they were in because I did not care. But basically, it was just a bunch of like old things that they never talked about, that they had issues with each other, that they never talked about, whatever. They talk about it, and they reconcile at the end of 15. Spoiler! They figure it out. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about is the fact that the main couple are both supposed to be in their 30s. I think they're both supposed to be 34. And you're telling me that their stupid parents have that much say. And they were going on and on about how they couldn't be together and they wouldn't give them their blessing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like... They're adults. Why are we sitting here acting like they're 18? Like, I don't understand why this show is so determined to, like, infantilize the main couple as if they're, like, 15-year-olds or, like, children, when, in fact, they're both 34. Well into adulthood. So why are we acting like they're, like, stupid teenagers? I don't know. The show's been doing it the whole time. It's really annoying. Tell me how you can baby your children but also be a terrible parent. I don't know. Ask Sakru, how do you say her name? Ask her mom, because that's her mom. I hate her mom. I have never hated a main character, like a main parent, so much. She is so annoying. She is so insufferable. She has the biggest oh my gosh, I don't know how to say this word. Inferiority complex. I know it's not how you say it. You know what I mean? She's so inferior. Like, she has such a bad attitude at all times. This girl constantly compares herself to her friend. And in fact, that's why the two moms had such a big falling out. It's because she always was like mad at her friend and she was jealous of her friend and she's so annoying. And the thing is, with the main male lead's mom, she's not perfect by any means, right? But she actually had character development, right? Whereas the female lead's mom never had any character development. I don't think she has yet to actually apologize to her daughter for anything she's ever done. She never apologized to her friend for what she did. And she was so much more in the wrong, in my opinion, that it's crazy that she just gets away with whatever the heck she wants. And I just don't understand why the writers wrote such an honestly insufferable character. She's so annoying. She is so defensive. She is so genuinely toxic and like wrong at all times, but thinks she's right. And I was like, even though the male, like I said, even though the male lead's mom was toxic at times, honestly, a little bit like, okay, lady, like, figure your life out. She had what's called character development, and she became so much better. And she apologized to her son for all his like abandonment issues he had, all their separate problems. She apologized. They worked through it. It was great. The female lead's mom has yet to apologize to her daughter. Like, I know I already said that, but like, I don't think you understand. It's been 15 episodes. She has not said she's sorry to her. She had a whole conversation with her husband where they were like talking and she said how sorry about like her daughter, like how sorry she felt, blah, blah. Girl, I don't care, because you've been a toxic person this whole show and you never improved. Quite literally have never improved. And I'm just supposed to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I love her. I hate her. She's so annoying. I read a comment where someone was like, I get that she's supposed to be realistic. And I was like, girl, I hope there aren't people like her, because what a insufferable person to be around. They constantly compare themselves to you. They are constantly unhappy because they're like, her whole thing about being like poor, I was like, girl, please, you are not even that poor. Nowhere in this show have they really like shown that you guys are poor. Like, obviously the male lead's parents and family is more rich, like they have more money, but I don't really feel like the female lead's family is poor. And someone pointed out the whole like, if this, the female lead had this crazy job in the US that paid a lot, supposedly, this big fancy job, they're like, why wouldn't she have sent money home? So why are they sitting here acting like they're just like desolate? Like, they're literally not. So I don't understand that part of it. Why the show was so determined to just be like, oh my gosh, they're so poor. Like, she's so poor. Like, I can't afford that. Girl, the average person can't afford most of the things that you guys are talking about anyways. You're not special. So I don't understand why you think you're like such a victim mentality to the highest extent. Such a self-satisfied, like, I am always right, so proud, and in the worst possible way. Somehow equally arrogant and insecure. Don't know how she managed it, but she has both of those traits at the same time, at the same level. And it's wild. I don't know if I said the female lead ends up accepting his proposal at the end of 15, but she does, and then she like does a little cute proposal kind of at the end of 15. It was very cute. They're fine. I don't have a problem with the main couple, whatever. I just am so passionate about the fact that they wrote probably one of the worst like parent characters I've seen in a while. And I've said this before in other videos, and it's true. I would rather sit and watch an entire 16 episode show with a character who's supposed to be a bad mom, who's supposed to be a bad parent, a bad person, whatever, a toxic person. I'd rather watch that than someone who's just supposed to be realistic, because I'm like, girl, if this example of a parent is realistic, that's terrifying, because she's horrible and she's so, to her core, so annoying. Like, tell me why I don't care. Tell me why I don't care that you feel inferior. Tell me why I don't care. You are like a 60-year-old woman acting like a 16-year-old, and I'm supposed to be like, oh my gosh, relatable. Oh my gosh, no. I hope she's not relatable to anybody, because she's like the worst written character ever. And the thing is that's funny is the actress, when I saw that she was in the show, I had just watched a show like a couple months before this one called Save Me, and in that show she plays like a crazy cult woman, and it's like it makes sense that you don't like her because she's a villain. This show, she's not supposed to be a villain, but she's almost as unlikable as her villain character because she's so it just never shuts up. Like, never stops talking and goes, oh my gosh, accountability? Maybe I should take some of that. Nope. Yeah, I genuinely think Netflix needs to get better writers. I think that they need to figure out how to write characters that aren't so annoying. And it's like, I don't even feel like it's that hard. Like, I don't think you have to do anything crazy. Your character doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, they don't have to be, like, without flaws. But don't make the flaws so much more prevalent than everything else and just sit here and go, oh my gosh, but it's because she's realistic. No, it's because she needs therapy. Because she has problems. There was a scene, oh my gosh, it was so annoying. There was a scene between the two moms before they had reconciled, right? And the male lead's mom apologized first. She was like, whatever. And then the female lead's mom was like, just yapping away about whatever the heck she is. Can't take accountability. And the male lead's mom was basically just like, well, I was just trying to apologize first, basically. And I was like, as you should. And I'm like, if her biggest flaw is that she is pretentious, oh my gosh, she has a right to be. Her whole job in this show was supposedly that she was a diplomat or something. So she'd been to many different countries. She lived in France for a long time, so that was like a big part of her character was that she spoke French. It was like, she has a right to be pretentious at this point. You, on the other hand, Mrs. I'm poor, have no reason to be as proud and arrogant as you are, but also somehow still maintaining this idea that you're this poor victim who's so poor and you can't do anything and I just hate her. Shut up. Literally be quiet. No one cares. I'm so done with this show. Like, I'm so happy it's the last episode tomorrow. I'm so happy that I'll be done with this show. Writer. Write better female characters, please. I am sick of badly written female characters. You can't expect me to watch a show and like all the male characters, but not like the female characters, but not because I'm sexist, but because you don't know how to write a dynamic female character who has layers. I don't need to sit here and watch someone be like, they don't have to be the most complicated person in the room, right? I don't need a female character who is so complicated and it's so hard to understand her. No, just write her without so many toxic traits. Can you just make her a little bit more interesting? Can she be like a little funny or a little bit like silly, or just like, yeah, she can be a little bit arrogant, but maybe she has character development. Like, I don't even know what kind of rant I'm going on right now. My brain I lost any type of direction I'm going. I'm just tired of Netflix K-dramas. And I think that's just the truth of it. They're not all bad. But the last, 4 or 5 that I've watched have just irked me to some level. And I just can't believe that I'm still being irked. I can't believe that I'm still annoyed. Like, I genuinely can't believe that they're still writing characters that are, like, this annoying in this show. It's 2024. Like, tell me you don't know how to write a female character. Tell me you don't know how to write just any person who acts like a normal person. Like, it can't be that hard. I think this has always been a K-drama problem. And it's something that when they don't do this, it's so refreshing, but they fall under very stereotypical tropes, and they don't always differ that much from those 4 or 5 tropes. So in this one, we have childhood friends to lovers. We have hidden illness. We have miscommunication and confusing, conversations that could have been solved with, one talk, but they didn't solve it, and so they waited. We have toxic mom, who also never took accountability at any point in the show. And there was another thing they had that was someone made, I probably talked about this, but I saw something on I think it was Instagram, and it was why is this show every 4 or 5 different K-dramas that came out in the 5 years combined into one? But literally it was the tropes of 4 major K-dramas that just came out all were in this show, and it was wild, and I was I don't understand it. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I give up. I give up with this show. We'll see if I make another video for the last episode, but I probably won't because it looked good. The preview made it look interesting. So I was like, as long as it's not really annoying, I probably won't even talk about it. Maybe I'll make a quick video of like, it was cute, I liked it, and then be done. But okay, that's all. Bye-bye.